Hello again and welcome to the workshop. Now in this series of videos I want to cover the router station, not routering in general, i.e. taking a router out on site and doing the bits of work and routers, mobile, portable sort of things. I want to cover the station itself. The station, what it's for, how it comes about, etc. And then we'll go into actual routering with the station. Because it's far different to routering by hand, although the basics principles are the same. We can achieve a lot more on a station than we can by hand. But before I get into that, I just want to take away the fears of you that's looking at this thinking, Christ, I ain't got that. We might have better, who knows. But those that haven't, don't matter. We're not talking about having something very expensive. We were talking about having a static system with a router in that's set up for routering timbers. Simple as that. Now, prior to me getting this, here I had a shop-made router station, which I built myself, some 18-20 years ago. And over that 18-20 years, I'd slowly improved it and made it till it was exactly what I wanted. I got the original idea of it from a program I used to watch called Yankee Workshop, the new Yankee Workshop it was called. I'm forgetting that, it's been a while now since I've seen it. Norm Abram, the guy was called. Good joiner. Anyway, I made my first one from that, and I used that relentlessly for a long time, and it never let me down. It was doing very well. It was only that I had problems in the workshops, a flood a few years back, took out a lot of stuff, and I decided that's it, time to upgrade, and I upgraded the saw table. And at the same time, I found that I could add a cast iron top per router, and I thought, why not? I'm going that way, let's go that way and do it. But for those that are worried about what you've got, have a look at this link. That will take you to the video showing you that I had before. And you can base yourself on that design. If you want it's something you can knock up in the workshop. It's quite simple. But this one I built after that to cater for more of a commercial aspect that I was getting into with the kitchen and bathroom fitting. I needed something a little bit more sustainable. So I'm going to cover this station first. Right, to start off with, it's a UJK setup. The cast iron top is UJK, the insert router lift is UJK. The fence system is UJK. Everything is, apart from the router itself. That is a DeWalt router. As you'll see here. 2 kilowatt, quite a powerful job. But it's very regulable. It can go down from 8,000 revolutions per minute right up to 22,000. So I've got bags of control, speed control at the front there. Now what I did when I built this station, I got the saw table set up first, added this to it. I actually had to drill through the cast iron, quite a job to do it, but there is links, have a look there. That will give you a link to me building this entire area and setting this up. Once I got that in, I then started to build this underneath with the dust extraction in it. I built router drawers, or for router bits, drawers in here. So you pull that way out, but they've got to stop so they don't fall on the floor and you get maximum space on it. This has got me quarters, and down here some more quarters and some 3/8 as well. And then next to it, access for the router. So I can get to it, speed control, check the dust extraction and such, and on the door air intake regulator, so that's set. Then I've got another drawer that houses other bits that I need for working onto that. I've powered up a no volt switch on there, and then on the bottom I've got another drawer, again relating to routers. Got my hand routers and non-slip mats and templates, all that sort of stuff. That is what you need to do. You need to dedicate yourself a unit, even if it's a little mobile portable unit that works for space, rolling around or whatever. But dedicate it. Have everything there so you're not running around looking where's that bit, where's that spanner, etc. Lost the collet, can't do the job. It's all there, all in one place. Okay, getting down to the nitty gritty of a router station. This one, I'm talking about this one because I don't know what you've got, so I'm talking about this one. Keeps it simple. We start off with the table itself first. It's cast iron, it's never going to change, never going to move, never going to warp or anything like that. I've got two slots which are for combs in, which things, jigs and whatever, you work on that. And the insert, which with this company you can get a variety of inserts. They'll do you this one, which is the expensive one, I think about 300 quid or something for the insert itself. And then you can get a plain insert which looks similar to that, and then you can get one that will do all kinds of other stuff. But if you look at them, UJK, they have quite a range, they're quite specialist with these sort of things. With this one, I get the luxury of a micro fine adjuster. Not only does it bring your router up and down like this, but once you've got it there, you can then take this little dial here. You can then take this little dial here, which shows you direction up, so obviously that way is down, and you can set it to 0. Whatever your router bit is now set at, you ignore that. You set this to 0. You put your key back in, keeping that at 0. Is there. You run your piece through and you find you need a slight adjustment. So you unlock this. Now remember, when you've got a cranky under there pushing it up or whatever, you're not getting fined. With this, that's 0.5 millimetre. This is 0, that's 0.5 millimetre. That's a millimetre, that's 1.5 millimetres. Now you look at that 0.5 millimetre to 0 is divided into 10 portions. So you've got a 20th of a millimetre in that portion. So if you want, you can bring it up 1/20th of a millimetre, 2/20ths, 3/20ths, 4/20ths, 5/20ths being a quarter. Right, so very fine adjustment coming up and down, and when it's where it wants to be, you can lock it there. Now it can't drift at all, it's solid. That's one thing I like about this. The other thing I like is when you wind up the router, the lift, it brings you right to the top, and there's your router bit. If I was to put the collet on there, I'm doing it all from above, everything. Now you might think, well, routers don't have such big things, but what happens is when you buy this, you get this, which is a router bit. It goes into your router and locks off. That then is now your new router bit. You get yourself a couple of spanners, the correct size. This one fits just nicely there and holds that. That one fits there. So when that's on, you can, without any problem, work your bit and then send it back to where you want it to be. Exactly. Like so. Very easy. These are the little things I like about this setup. Whereas the one that I made, which I showed you the video, I could raise and lower, but I couldn't change above. I couldn't work out what the height was without physical measuring equipment from adjustments. I couldn't do any of that. All I could do was just roughly set it to where it wanted to be. I won't lock that down yet so we can use it later. The other good aspect to me bedding it into the whole platform here is I've got the support now of big timbers coming through. So I can, you know, put large lengths and send them through. I've got 2 meters there, plenty of length. And if I'm going off that end, then I just put up a rolling stand further on and it'll support again. And I've got another 2 meters before the door. So easily managing large pieces on the router table here. Now then, the next thing you need for a good router table is a good rip fence. Now, UJK again surpass themselves with this nice piece of equipment here. these running these tracks, which you'll know these tracks are calibrated. Both, you set them yourself to the centre of this so that it's set. Then you can see if your rip fence is off skew or not. Next you've got the nice dust extractor, so I've got suction from below and suction from above. Knobs here to slide the jaws open and close, making it so you can set it for whatever size bit you've got in there. And then you get calibration right across the top. 0 in the centre of this, and then it's taking you out 450mm each way. So you can work out exactly how far pieces are going through, and you can get clamps to stop to go in there. You've got T-slot on the top, you've got a T-slot on the front there, running along again for your feather boards to go into there, and this you can use for stop clamps to stop your work going through out very far. As you can see here, I have a viewing protector so I can see my bit without getting in problems with my eyes. And this just slides forward to set it. Simple as that. It's all nice and set, a little bit of a jerky as you're doing it, but it's nothing there. Right. And there we have it. That is the setup for generally most work. The other thing with the table, we don't need the rip fence. Quite often you'll get work that has got shapes to it. Rip fences are for straight objects. So, for operating on that, you'll have a couple of options. Start off with, you can use bits with bearings. If you've got a bit with bearing in there, your work will roll on the bearing. And that way, whatever shape you want it, it will roll around with it. When you're using this, we also get the pin. It's a guide pin. Basically so that when you're going on it, it's not going to quickly and grab you. You can come onto this and slowly approach onto the bit. This way it just gives you a little bit more control than going straight in at it and getting shot up. A little more control. Then you've got the other way. Then we go for bits that don't have bearings. And we don't have guides. We just have that. My own bearing. It's just a simple jig, if I can get it in here, that fits into the T-slot. When you're working blind, it's difficult to see the T-slot sometimes. Wrong way around. That's it. Simple, works in the T-slot like so and sits over your bit, giving you a bearing. And you can set it at whatever point you want it, whatever height you want it, and such. And your work is running against this. That way you can use mouldings without bearings. So you can get moulding bits on there without bearing bits. I think I've got a video. Yes, I've got a video somewhere for this. Somewhere. Now, the other use of a router table on such a big platform is doing seriously big objects. For example, if I wanted to start routering some big cupboard doors, the ends of them, it's okay one way, doing the other way, I just don't have it. But from this side I do. So, another additive. That I made, and you can find this one there, in that video there. Or maybe you can just go to all them videos when I finish this one and you can see how to do them all. This one I made to go onto here and work the same as this one does. It will just slide up and down. I can have it either side. That is only on one side, but I've got the jaws on both sides. So it's fully universal. Hello again and welcome to the workshop. Now in this series of videos, which very happily fits out nicely, just like that. This then, if you can imagine, I sit it there with my router bit. Look at the size of piece of material I can use here against that. Very big. So unlimited amount. And if I need to very quickly, I can run to this side without having to change back to the other one and router here. And I've got my calibrations on here. So everything is working and that clamp's solid. So I can almost say it's square, which is an advantage as well. So that's another upgrade for a standard router station, should you need it. Okay, now I want to go very quickly back to the basic grip fence to show you one other point. As we were talking about this T-slot, we mentioned what it was for, feather boats and jigs and such things. And many people will say to you, it's not for a mitre fence. Never use it for a mitre fence. I do. And you'll see on quite a few of my videos, I've used that. Right, the reason you don't, it's a centred item, is a right way. It's correct, no matter how you have it set, your work will still go through accurately, like so. But if you start trying to use this, you're going to snag as soon as you get past the bit, because it's sloping inwards. And this way, you might follow it, and your bit will be cutting into your work wrongly, or you'll just be running off of it because it's not followed. Whichever, that's why you don't do it. So how do I do it? Because I do, and I always will do. I'll show you. The Axeman's to depth gauge, it's just, I use it for all kinds of things. You just set it on something, let it, and it's set. You can mark along it, you can measure along it, all kinds. It's very useful. Right. What I do is I will set this where I want it, to the centre of my bit. I will then, placing this in here, and it hooks in very nicely, I will touch that onto the centre where it is and lock it. That's now locked, because that's the bit that matters. These bits don't matter. This is the bit that matters, the centre where the bit is. Get your grip fence calibration from where the bit is. Then, put it here. Lock it. Put it here. And lock it. Now you can use your mitre fence. Now, you've got a piece of work, say that, for example. That now passes all the way through. That's how you can use it. If you don't do this, then when you are doing long thin things like this, you have to put something flat and solid behind it to stop it going off. Otherwise it's going to move, and even then it's a little bit, you need to make something to do your corners. I have a few jigs that I work for that as well, but we've all got one of these. We get them with those other tools. So you've got, so why not use it? That is a good way of using it. If you haven't got one of these, make a block that fits that sits up above it. Drill a hole in it and put a bar through it. And then some sort of screw to lock it. Simple. Lock, and then just move it on. As long as you have it set to this point here, and then transfer it to both ends, you can then use your mitre fence. Right, finally, just a quick word on the essential items you'll need, in my opinion anyway, for a decent router station. First off, the router. Don't expect you to go out and spend a fortune on a DeWalt or something like this. but get one that's 1/2 inch. I've got one I use at work for 1/2 inch for worktops. It's a cheaper one. I can't remember the make of it, but it's 70, 80 quid, something like that. It's a cheap one. Because at work they get damaged quick and I throw them away. It's only for worktops, never for anything else. So I'm not bothered. But in a workstation, it's static, it's not getting knocked about, it'll last well. So, as best you can get, but 1/2 inch. It needs to be 1/2 inch, otherwise you are restricting yourself to just one type and one size of bit, and that cuts your market down. Also, there's a lot of the bigger bits, panel moulding bits, that won't come in 1/4 inch, they'll only come in 1/2 inch, so you've stopped yourself having that. Then, when you've got that, collets to fit your machine. Collets for all sizes. 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. The bits can be the same. As you can see, they're the same bits, the same size bits, but we've got an 1/2 inch and we've got a 1/4 inch. The other thing is a good way of measuring that up from the floor, out from the fence. So you need not necessarily an expensive one like this. This is made by the same company, Trend, exactly the same, except it's not digital, so it's a fraction of the cost. You set what you want, and you can even check the tape measure if you wanted to get it all what you want. This one is done digitally, but basically you are checking, set what you want there, and you are setting the height. You are then setting the depth from the fence. It's a must. If you can't set that, you're never going to be able to work your work. You know, you've got an 18mm piece of timber, you want to put a rebate on it at full height, but your bit, if it's set too high, it'll put grooves in the wrong side that you don't want and such. So you need to be able to set that, and the depth of it you need to be able to set. So if you get them together, get this set up, then you're ready to pretty much manufacture what you want. So I think that being the conclusion of the introduction side of it, I think the next time we'll start working out setting it up and running through basic mouldings that we need in general practice, your basic mouldings. But other than that, that's it. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you liked it, shove a like at the bottom, I really appreciate that. And also, you notice, support my channel. You can support my channel now and all. Help me buy more of these bits, because they're really expensive. Right, okay, anyway, thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.